Well, good afternoon from Knoxville, Iowa. Walking up to check out the racetrack before tonight's Knoxville 360 Nationals finale, where someone is going to be going home with 30 grand. Well, for 360 racing this evening, the Knoxville 360 Nationals is truly about as big as it gets. Tonight's the finale. We already ran our prelim. The stage is set. The 18T will be rolling off from the pole of the C main. Of course, we would have liked a little bit better starting position, but man, that's just sometimes how things go. There's over 100 360s in the pit area competing. They're going to be starting at the E main and working their way towards the A feature, which will pay $20,000 to win, plus lap money. So there's an opportunity for a massive check. They're working on the racing surface now here at Knoxville. This place, it always amazes me. This is just the beginning of our nationals. We have the Capitani tomorrow. We have the 410 next week. And even though, you know, we're not where we want to be, we're working in the right direction. So we're going to be getting this evening started. We really just have a hot lap session, and then we're going to be rolling right into the C. How I'm looking at the day is that C main event is going to get us ready for the B, and we're going to have to really try to put on a heck of a charge to try to make it into tonight's A. It's not going to be easy. We're going to have some luck, and we're going to have to eat some alphabet soup. So we have cars on the track. They're hot lapping the E and the D main event, and then they're going to run the E, and then we're going to head out and hot lap. Right now the racetrack has maximum grip and actually might not even be there yet. It's been pretty slimy. I was talking with someone earlier, you know, this surface still has a lot more laps to go before, you know, all of Knoxville is over this whole next week. So I think for 360s, just sometimes it ends up being a little bit wetter. And like tonight, we really don't have that many races to run, you know, compared to even like how many get put on it during the prelim show. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to stay fast here for a long time, and then we'll see what kind of happens as we get closer to the C. But here for hot laps, we're going to go out there. We tried to make some changes to our race car. We're trying things because we don't feel like we're close, but we need to keep making changes to give ourselves a chance. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, and it's not working, the same result's going to continue. So we're going to try to get some speed here. It'll be nice to have a few laps to try before the C. So we just got a chance to go out there and hot lap. As I mentioned, the track is still fast. Hard to kind of judge our time. I think we were fourth quick out of the C main cars. You got to remember, like, that was different than our normal hot lap session. We did not have a qualifying trim setup on. We had more of a field load. We had a different gear, you know, the gear that we were going to race on. So we were really trying to see how our car would feel in more of a race trim, which would, you know, equal just a tiny bit less speed in some ways. But I felt good. I was also kind of trying to go out there and run in the bottom because it's so slimy, and, you know, me starting on the bottom, I need to have that lane. And so as a driver, you kind of have to try to take care of the racetrack. No one's going to take care of it. Like, you got to, you know, go out there, and some of that's just, you know, more laps on the surface and whatnot, but I was just trying to do my part. So ran the bottom, ran the top, felt good up there. Bottom, like I said, still kind of just working in, so you can't judge much off that, but overall I think we got something to work with here to try to go out and win the C main event. We got to get into the B, and you know, like I said, I see this as another hot lap session. In worst case, if we don't get the jump, we just need to fall in line, you know, transfer through and continue to do our job. So we pulled into the pit stall here, getting a quick word with the crew. We're gonna fuel back up, make some slight changes, and then head out for the B. Had a great C main, led every lap. My car felt phenomenal. Just didn't have a chance to hop out here and actually give you guys an update. Now we gotta go from the back of the B, and we have to run in the top 4 to transfer. So it's gonna be a tall task, but we're gonna try to make the most of the opportunity.
Your top 6, again, top 4, advance on to the A. They are on the gas and we are green here in your B feature. Another good start by Casey Kane. Chase Randall on the top of the racetrack. Everybody trying to sort it out. Here comes Seth Bergman. He's going to come for that 4th spot down the back straightaway. Garrett Williamson gets up on the wall. We stay green.
Big lead really in the opening laps here now for Casey Kane over the 2 race car. Starting to get that momentum right now for Chase Randall.
Everybody trying to get it wound up. Battle for 3rd. Riley Goodnow almost got into the back of Ryan Giles. Goodnow will go high. Giles on the bottom. That is the battle for 3rd. Goodnow holds on to the 4th and final transfer spot. There goes the 23 of Seth Bergman. He's going to go for the transfer.
He's using that inside line to get around the 22, but it's hard to make that pass on the bottom unless you're perfect. Bergman may have done it.
He was wheel to wheel with Goodnow, and like you said, he nailed it. He has got that thing glued on the berm, and Seth Bergman takes your 4th and final transfer spot. Riley Goodnow slots into 5th. Here comes Sawyer Phillips in the 6th spot.
Side by side, a couple of spots behind. Now Bergman is off the pace, off 2.
Seth Bergman lost a lot of time on the bottom. Goodnow found something upstairs. Give Goodnow back the 4th position. Meanwhile, back up front, Casey Kane continues to lead, but here comes Chase Randall working the top of the racetrack. You might have a battle for the lead on this next time around.
Yeah, those 2 race cars have put about half a straightaway between themselves and the 3rd place car, so those first 2 very strong.
Field starting to file itself out just a little bit. Casey Kane is about 2 corners away from catching lap traffic. Casey Kane is your leader. Chase Randall 2nd. Ryan Giles 3rd. Riley Goodnow in the 4th and final transfer spot, trying to get away from Seth Bergman down the back straightaway.
The race is back there for about 10th place. The 49 car, Tim Schaefer, racing the 09, Matt Jewell. Jewell holds 10th right now.
Matt Jewell trying to get the top of the racetrack working. Tim Schaefer now starting to close in on Garrett Williamson. Williamson slotting into the 11th spot. Jewell trying to follow him. Williamson on the top of Tim Schaefer. Hank Davis slips up a little bit down the back straightaway. That might allow the 77X.
Advance this position here, but he's got company coming on his top side.
Carson McCarl got a good run that time. He'll cut it back down across the racetrack, has his eyes set on the 23 machine. McCarl wants to put this thing into the A feature later tonight. Slowly but surely closing in. Sawyer Phillips right there with him. Your race is for the lead. Casey Kane on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Chase Randall. He'll rock it around the outside.
Trying to close in on the 22 of Goodnow, who has the final transfer spot right now.
He continues to hold the bottom of the racetrack, but here comes Carson McCarl. Ryan Giles had trouble with the lap car of Colton Hardy. Everybody gets right back up to the top. Your leader, Chase Randall, looking good. Casey Kane in 2nd, Giles in 3rd. Goodnow gets past Hardy. Carson McCarl will go after him for the 4th spot.
Yeah, McCarl sliding the top side of the racetrack and really closing in. He's a car length back now down the front stretch.
Carson McCarl wants a spot in the A feature. He'll slide up the racetrack and he will get it from the 22X of Riley Goodnow. Carson McCarl in the 4th and final transfer spot. He'll try to run away.
Colton Hardy off the pace on the backstretch. Hardy now onto the apron.
Carson McCarl trying to set sail and get out of Dodge. He'll chase after the 2M of Ryan Giles. Your leader's looking good. Chase Randall down the back straightaway with 3 laps to go. Casey Kane safe, Ryan Giles safe. And that battle for 5th shaping up. Here comes Seth Bergman.
Bergman now going after Goodnow. And they'll close in on McCarl. He's getting hung up behind the 55 of Brandon Anderson.
Anderson blocked the lane of McCarl. McCarl has to slide himself up into the top of turn 1 and 2. Now he holds up the 22X of Goodnow. Here comes Garrett Williamson. Now Bergman has a chance to go after the 27.
Yep, Bergman has the 5th place again, but he's still several car lengths back on McCarl as the white flag's waving.
One more time around for your leader, Chase Randall. He'll work his way off at turn number 2. Was able to get around Casey Kane in the middle portions of this race, and as he goes into turn 3 and 4, the quickest chicken will put himself in your A feature tonight. Chase Randall wins your B main. Casey Kane will bring it home in the 2nd spot, 3rd to Ryan Giles, and Carson McCarl goes for your 4th and final transfer spot. He is headed for a chance at a 360 Knoxville Nationals Championship.
He came from the 11th starting spot to move it up.
Well, we started 19th and finished 15th in the B main. Went forward, and man, I made it a little harder on myself. I know I'm hit or miss on getting good starts, and at these big tracks, it's just a different game than some of the smaller places. And basically, earlier in the week, I kind of did a strategy on the start where I tried to protect from the cars behind me, and I felt like it bit me. I didn't get going enough on the start. So this go around, I tried to kind of protect but open up my corner and find an open lane to not get bottled up, and it ended up biting me. So I tried to give myself a different option to have a chance at transferring, but I lost maybe a couple spots there early, and then had to run them back down. And without like any yellows, it just made it super difficult. 18 laps, like I said, we passed 4 on the books, but we probably passed 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 cars there actually by the time it all shook out. Just proud of my team. We made a lot of changes to my car compared to what we've kind of been doing. As I've told you, this thing has been it's been the problem child of all of our cars in our program, and we did some stuff today that we haven't tried before, and I felt like it made the car a lot better, a lot more stable, and I could kind of just drive and use more of the racetrack. So of course we would have loved to be in the show. I mean, they're getting ready to do the podium deal where they do driver introductions, and like it hurts my heart that we're not up there, but just a weird 360 Nationals. I felt like we kind of ended up in the wrong spots. We didn't have things go our way. We could have had a little more speed, but we really worked on it, the few chances we had. So overall, won the C, passed a couple cars in the B, cars in one piece, and we're ready to take all that knowledge and what we learned into the rest of our week with this package. So is what it is. We'll watch the feature, see who gets it done, and like I said, just try to continue to learn. But felt like the laps that we made that were good in the B and the C were pretty stellar, especially around the bottom, which is one of the hardest things to do here. So we're making gains in the right areas. It's just, taking steps one at a time forward. So as the night came to an end, I totally forgot that here at Knoxville, no matter what, if you win a feature, they bring you a piece of hardware. And let me tell you, like Chili Bowl, like it was cool to have, I don't know, like it was kind of, like I'm the first one to complain about, a second place trophy, a third place trophy, but at some of these bigger events, like, I don't know, it's kind of cool having a plaque when we won that Chili Bowl. I think it was an I or a J main. And like, this is I don't think you'll ever beat a C main event trophy like this here at Knoxville. Like this thing is legit. It's a real trophy. I've won plenty of features that didn't have as cool hardware as what you have for winning the C main event at the Knoxville Nationals. So yeah, that was kind of neat. Like I told you guys, of course we had different goals for this. Last thing we wanted to do was be in the alphabet soup, but still, really neat that we made progression, and like I said, we took what our hand that was dealt. We tried to make the most of it. Did we? In some ways we did, in some ways we didn't. But no matter what, we put our best foot forward, and that's all I ask of my team. That's what I ask of myself. Just 110% every single lap. Do all you can do. But here's a look at the racing surface. It was solid. Bottom got really narrow, especially down here, and a lot of guys were running the high side. And then late in the race, it started to take rubber. You can kind of see the color difference. Everyone started running right about in this lane. So that was kind of unfortunate. One thing I noticed about the 360s, and it just seems like every year they kind of go more and more in this direction, but everyone's just so close. I mean, literally, it's making it more and more difficult to pass cars throughout the race. At a big place like Knoxville here, you have a lot of speed. You get really spread out, but all 3 nights the winner came from the front row, and I think that's just because there's just so much stellar competition. There's a lot of top teams. Everyone's engines are very similar. Everyone's cars are very similar. It just comes down to a game of inches, and really with the 360 about momentum and just keeping your speed up. Any mistake, if you make any mistake at all as you're racing around other guys, you're trying to catch someone, you just lose everything that you built up the last 2 or 3 laps. So everyone is just so equal, so it just makes track position even more important. But 360 Nationals is a wrap. The 18T finished in one piece, but now we're moving on to an even bigger portion of our week. 410 Nationals, biggest race in all of sprint car racing, most prestigious, most money, biggest purse. I mean, if you make it into Saturday night's main event, you're walking home with at least $15,000. So we got big goals for our team. Are we an underdog? Do people probably have us on the list to make it in the feature? Most likely not. But I think if we really put together, all the pieces, we have a shot. We just gotta qualify well, gotta get through your heat, gotta pass cars, and you gotta put it all out on the line. So we're gonna try to do that here at the Sprint Car Capital of the World. There's no better place to try and do it on the biggest stage in all of our sports. So thanks for watching. Thanks to all my partners, my family, my crew. Everyone was working really, really hard. Even though, you know, we were down a little bit, we didn't quit fighting. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Deuces.